Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Charlotte and this is Happy Twins 1111. So today we're going to look at how your DM is feeling, what he's thinking, what his intentions are. So you can pick a pile. If you haven't done that already, there's a thumbnail at the beginning of the video. You can just pause it there. You can douse or just spend a moment looking at which pile works for you. I'm going to shuffle each deck in front of you. If you are interested in the decks I'm using, you can find that information down below. And also, thank you so much for those of you that tuned into my live session. I think I did about 25 readings for you guys over the space of 2 hours. I know I've still got a couple to do for the people that we ran out of time for, but I will be doing those today if you're waiting for one of those. So thank you so much for your support. I'm so humbled by your comments. It was really lovely. We'll definitely do that again. I'll get a date up for that again soon. And remember, I have got a Valentines offer running this week until Sunday. That's for a short reading for $11.11. You can ask questions about your DM's feelings, a love interest, anything you like, and I'll pull about 6 cards and I'll send you a video that will be about 10 to 15 minutes long. So you can find that information down below as well. And also, for those of you that are watching from America, I have changed my pricing from sterling to dollars. So you can now pay in dollars. If you are in Britain and you prefer to pay in sterling, just let me know in your email. Okay, so hopefully you've picked a pile. We're going to start with pile 1. Let's see how your Divine Masculine is feeling. Whoa. Is feeling about you. I'm going to keep those 3 cards that fell out upright. So we've got the 3 of Wands, 6 of Cups in reverse, and the 9 of Wands. And bear with me, if I do pause, it's because I'm channeling my guide Arthur. He works with me just for the tarot. For those of you that have watched my videos already, you will know this. So if you've picked this Divine Masculine, he's not in a good place. He's really feeling bogged down by a karmic situation, and he's not focused on the Divine Feminine at the moment. He's not seeing that we're dealing with an unawakened twin here. And whilst he's thinking about her, he's stuck in this karmic situation. I'm seeing this a lot at the moment. Obviously, it's this isn't going to resonate for everybody. I'm going to take one more card. Yeah, so he's feeling. We've got the King of Pentacles in reverse here. He's feeling really bogged down and not very grounded in his present. He's really struggling right now. And he's not doing the healing work either. He's very resistant to that. So he really feels that he's not good enough for you. I'm getting a lot of reversed pentacles here with the 10 of Pentacles reversed and the King of Pentacles reversed. And this is very much about him just not feeling good enough for you, not feeling like he can come towards you with something that you deserve. And we're talking about of a financial nature as well. He feels like you are expecting so much more, and that he doesn't match up to your expectations. And Arthur's telling me that this isn't because of what you've communicated to him. It's because of how he perceives you, and he doesn't realise that you are an option. This Divine Masculine isn't aware of how deeply you feel. He's very trapped in his own insecurities. He's got a real inferiority complex as far as you're concerned. So, there's a deep well of emotion here in terms of how he feels about you. But he's also very conflicted and defensive because he really just doesn't feel good enough, because he's not been doing, this is the 3 of Swords in reverse, because he's not been doing this healing work. He's not seeing that, the base soul level connection where, the financial stuff, what he can bring to you in a literal sense in terms of abundance doesn't matter. you know, that's not what you're looking for. But in his mind, it's really important, and he wants to be the best man he can be before he comes towards you. But he is stuck in a karmic situation as well. I'm going to just get some clarity in that. Right, but that's actually coming to an end. We've got the Three of Pentacles here. And, you know, that's about moving away from that karmic situation. But he's in a very confused space. He's, you know, he understands there's a powerful connection between you, but he's not seeing the spiritual aspect of it. As I said at the beginning, he's a very unawakened divine masculine. I'm not getting any messages from Arthur about, I beg your pardon. So Arthur's saying he understands that there's a soul deep connection, but that's not to say he can articulate or comprehend at this time quite how deep that soul connection is. He just knows that he can't forget you, and that he's never met anyone like you. He's never met anyone that's made him feel like you make him feel, which is special. And the word that's really jumping out at me is your home. And there's also a lot of kind of denial here in terms of so Arthur's telling me he's never had real love. He's not had it in childhood. He's not had that safe, stable, secure base. And so, you know, now that he's kind of seen an expression of that in you, he's struggling to acknowledge and accept it, because he doesn't feel worthy of a love like that. That to him is a fairy tale. It's something that happens in the movies. It's not something that happens to people like him. So I feel like there's a real class thing here as well. He feels like he's a lower class. He's just not good enough for you. He doesn't understand the depth of your love, because he doesn't see that you would feel that way about someone like him. He really, really doesn't see himself as good enough. And I'm being shown that in his mind, you're his only option, but he's too afraid to move towards it. He's too afraid to, you know, we see in this card here, and I think the Seven of Cups in this deck, I hope you can see it, is very revealing. Yeah, there's this kind of creature down here which is less than pleasant. We're looking at his options that are surrounded by toxicity, and he looks absolutely stricken and unsure of what to do. And he's holding this skull here, this symbol of death. He knows he needs to move forward. He knows he needs to break this cycle, this pattern of insecurity, this self-worth. But he is avoiding that healing. He doesn't know how to heal himself, this guy. He's never been shown. But you make him feel like home. And the main reason he's ended this karmic situation is because he's finally reached the conclusion that that even though he doesn't think he deserves you, he honestly thinks you're going to reject him. He doesn't feel confident in a kind of reconciliation with you. He does know that what he had with his karmic isn't enough. It's not enough. It didn't fulfill him. Arthur's saying he will come towards you. Let's see what he's thinking about you. So he's expecting failure. And he's really having sleepless nights over this. And he's also nervous about having that honest conversation. We've got the Seven of Swords in reverse here. You know, he's afraid. He's afraid of being honest. He's afraid of rejection. And, you know, he really is. It's a Nine of Swords here. We've got 2 9s, 2 7s, and a lot of pentacles in this. So I feel like as well, in terms of what he's thinking about you, that, you know, you're that much more abundant than he is. And he's really struggling to come to terms with this being something he deserves. And he really thinks you've moved away from this connection. He really thinks you've rejected him. He doesn't see that the depth of your feelings. He doesn't realise that you're holding space for him. And Arthur's telling me that, you know, probably the last time you spoke to him, you probably told him in no uncertain terms, because of this karmic situation, that you don't want to speak to him. And he really thinks he's blown it. So I'm really guided to tell you that if you're resonating with this pile, that you need to reach out. You need to reach out and just give him some reassurance. You don't have to go too deep. You know, you don't have to make declarations of love. But you do need to reach out and reassure him that you're still there, you're still thinking of him. And this will help him feel much safer in coming towards you, because, you know, the way he thinks about you at the moment, and he thinks about you a lot, you know, he's really having sleepless nights over this, and he's really beating himself up that he's ruined this. He's ruined any potential for connection. But he feels very vulnerable. He's afraid of rejection, and he's afraid of honesty. He's afraid that if he reveals his true self, if he tells you what's really been happening and talks to you about it, that he's going to lose you. So, you know, there's this desire to come towards you, but he's so afraid. It's like extreme opposite energies. On the one hand, it's like he wants to rush towards you, and on the other hand, you know, he's frightened of that. But he is, so when he's allowing himself to kind of fantasize or daydream, even though he doesn't believe he can have that, he does indulge in that. And he's, you know, he sees a sense of stability with you that he's not seeing elsewhere, that he's not felt before. But he's so scared to move towards it. Let's look at let's see what the Divine Feminine. So you need to trust. So we've got Queen of... Okay, so this Divine Feminine, you know, you've been doing a lot of work. You've actually taken your focus away from him to concentrate on your own healing. And you know, that was the right decision, because you're coming towards this now from a much more whole and balanced place. We've got the Queen of Wands here. You know, this is a very, very, I mean, she is the Queen of Spirit. Wands is the suit of spirit. You know, she's very grounded in her spiritual self. She's done a lot of internal healing. But you've been very focused on yourself and really trying your hardest not to obsess about him, which I feel was where you were before. You know, you've moved away from that. But you need to trust now that you can move forward with this without being hurt again. Because you've found this inner power, because you've stepped into it, there is an opportunity for you now to actually start moving closer towards union. Because he's ended the situation with his karmic, but he's in a lot of fear, and I feel like he really needs your reassurance. And we're talking baby steps here. As I said, you know, there's nothing here from the cards or from Arthur saying you need to come towards him full steam ahead, declaring undying love, but to reach out to him with words of reassurance, words of healing, just to let him know you still think about him and that you still care. Because this gap that you've had in concentrating on yourself has you know, reinforced this kind of self-doubt, this lack of self-worth, this inferiority complex, as Arthur referred to it, that he has regards to you. And you know, I'm feeling there is an element of nervousness about this, that you're worried about undoing all the hard work you've done on yourself, but you don't need to. You don't need to. You can move forward confidently and trust that you can stay in this power. And he needs to hear from you. So, you know, a lot of Divine Feminines, and I know I've certainly been in this situation myself, You know, we get to the point where we just say, don't bother anymore, leave me alone. You know, it's so on off, isn't it, that we kind of lose patience. And, you know, so we need to do that sometimes. I know I needed to do it, and I know you definitely needed to do it, and it's paid off. You know, it's worked out because you're healing, and you're very healed. And I'm being shown that your intuition now, your balance, your internal balance, and your joy, being shown your solar plexus chakra. Arthur's saying the joy inside of you is overflowing now. You radiate joy. And you can trust that you can hold that place. You can hold that joy. You can reach out to him and begin communicating without disturbing that peace of mind. You can trust that you can move forward now and you can focus on him again. That's not to say you take the focus off your own work and your own healing, but that you can trust that you can still move towards him and hold on to that balance that you've worked so hard to achieve. So I hope that one helped for those of you that chose pile 1. I think that's a fairly positive outcome for you as well. I feel like baby steps with you guys. You're gonna reach out, you're gonna hear back from him, but he does need time to heal, and he needs time to come to terms with his own worth, to start rebuilding his esteem from the inside. So let's go to pile 2. So how does he feel? What's he thinking of you? What do you need to do to move forward? And I have had a couple of emails asking me to do more readings for the Divine Masculine. I know there's more and more of you. So I will do another one for how the Divine Feminine is feeling. In fact, please comment below if you're into that. If there's enough of you, I mean, I've only had a couple of emails, but if there's enough of you, I'll definitely do that this week. So how is this Divine Masculine feeling about you, Divine Feminine? Wow. What's he thinking about you? Oh, there's a lot of court cards here. So first up, we've got the King of Wands in reverse. And I'm really guided to say, Arthur's guiding me to say, he is stepping out of his dark night of the soul and beginning to see the light. He is beginning to see how this situation with you really is. And he's very much feeling this Knight of Cups energy. This is Pisces energy here, but this is about coming towards you with messages of love. Yeah, this is a really positive card to come up for feelings. Arthur's saying quite simply, he does want you. You're on his mind all the time right now. And he, especially with the whole Valentine's Day thing being close by, he's spending a lot of time daydreaming about all the possible scenarios of how he could approach you and, you know, bring messages of love. Wow, this is really good. So the Page of Wands in reverse, you know, I'm feeling a bit of fear here. We've got the King of Wands in reverse. So, you know, he's done this work, he's had this dark night of the soul, but he's still kind of working through the ramifications of that. But he is ready to come forward. He's ready to... He's nervous about the spirituality. I feel like you've had that conversation with him. You may not have told him about the twin flame concept, but you have spoken to him about the spiritual connection. And he sees that, but there's a part of him also that is slightly fearful. And Arthur's guiding me to tell you that that's because he hasn't yet acknowledged his true self. This dark night of the soul has been quite painful for him, but he's not quite come to terms with the spiritual association. He knows that there's something there. I see this in so many Divine Masculines, actually. I think they're just a bit later to the party when it comes to the spiritual part. But, you know, with the Chariot here, this is really beautiful. We do see him saying, well, fuck it. I don't care if I'm feeling scared. I'm gonna charge towards this. And he, you know, there's a lot of drive in his feelings right now. He's really giving a lot of thought to how he's going to come towards you. In terms of what he's thinking of you, all of the wands here are in reverse. We've got the King of Wands, the Page of Wands, and also the Queen of Wands in reverse. And Arthur's guiding me to tell you that this is the part of the relationship that makes him nervous. So when he comes towards you, you need to not focus on that spirituality too much. He's going to come to that in his own time. You know, I always say about reversals that they're just blocked energy, and you know, he's not ready to unblock that energy. And in the Queen of Wands upright, I hope you can see this. You know, you've got this lady here with a loyal hound, and you know, he's just not ready to support conversations about that aspect of your relationship, but he is ready for love. You know, he's ready for the affection. He's really thinking about how he wants to nurture this connection. He really wants to, and I feel like he's going to be really creative in how he comes forward to you. And he does want that new beginning. We've got the Ace of Pentacles here, or crystals as it's known in this deck. You know, he's thinking he's ready to start from a much more stable base. He's done this dark night of the soul work, and he's ready to trust. You know, we've got the Moon here. This is about, you know, even though he's not certain what your response is going to be, what kind of reaction he's going to get from you, he's ready to trust in himself. This divine masculine really has developed a lot more esteem, and he's feeling very intuitively that you're still there, that you're holding space, that connection still runs deep, and he wants it. I'm really seeing this from this lineup. This is really very positive. In terms of what you need to do, wow. Okay, this is really powerful. So Arthur's really guiding me to say that actually the divine masculine in this situation has done so much work that he's actually, even though he's not stepped into spirit, he's done so much inner healing. I'm really being guided to say he's been in therapy. He's really been working hard at developing his self-esteem. I'm getting a lot of affirmation, you know, a lot of positive energy surrounding him. But in his absence, the divine feminine has been stuck, and she's not been able to move forward or achieve the same balance. We've got the Nine of Swords here, which is, you know, and we see her here, this lady holding one of these swords. It's not quite as dark as the ones in some other decks, and I really see as this, she's kind of working through it, but you're stuck there. You're stuck in this dark night of the soul yourself. And in terms of what you need to do, you need to release that attachment so you can have balance. And I've talked about this in a lot of my videos recently about, you know, what unconditional love is and what the twin flame journey means in regards to unconditional love. And it's not attachment. So you need to be really careful, because when he comes towards you with all this love, all this, you know, Knight of Cups, Queen of Cups energy, you know, you don't look very ready for it. You've been resisting moving forward on your own. You've been resisting doing that balance, and you've been very focused on the pain. We've got the Six of Swords, the Six of Crystals or Pentacles as it's known, and the Nine of Swords here. And you've been very focused on that, and you need to release it. You need to release that attachment. You need to trust that you can be happy without your twin, and that the attachment you're feeling that keeps you in pain isn't healthy. That's what will hold union back. So, you know, we've got a real tricky situation here, because you've got a divine masculine that is ready to charge towards you, and I don't feel like you're ready. Let's have a look what else you can do. So Arthur's telling me you have to trust yourself. You have to trust this situation. You have to trust this union, this connection, and you have to connect to spirit. In your attempt to bury these feelings, to to release this attachment you've rejected him, but you've rejected the whole journey. When he's moved away from you because of this dark night of the soul, you've rejected all of this journey and you've not done that work. You've disconnected from spirit, and in doing so, you've disconnected from your source of inner strength. And you're being shown that you need to release that, and you need to trust. You need to trust this time that you can begin releasing emotion, expressing emotion, and it's going to be safe because he's done a lot of work. Now, when he comes towards you, this is going to be incredibly healing for you. See what you can expect. This is beautiful. So even though you're not in balance, we've got the King of Pentacles in reverse here. Even though you're not feeling that balance, you're not feeling that sense of being grounded and surrendering and accepting this journey, when he comes towards you, it's going to relieve a lot of that. We've got this Nine of Cups card here, swiftly followed by Temperance. And Temperance is balance. It's about beautiful, perfect alchemy. And the Nine of Cups is about celebrating that joy. So you're going to find this very lifting. When he comes towards you with all of this reassurance, you're going to be able to turn all of these cards upright. Step out of this Nine of Swords nightmare into this Nine of Cups joy. It's really powerful, Divine Feminine. But you need to reconnect to spirit. Arthur's saying you've almost deliberately avoided it. You've switched it off. You've rejected the whole twin flame journey and said, what am I doing? This isn't for me. This is crazy. You've rejected the concept. You've rejected the work. In rejecting your twin, you've rejected all of it. But when you turn it back, we see her really glowing from her heart space, this lady. And there's 2 cups in this Temperance card. This reconnection is going to bring you a lot of peace and a lot of healing. And I'm really amazed to say that it's the Divine Masculine that's actually done the bulk of that work. And he doesn't know about the twin flame journey. He's been doing this for himself and for you. So Arthur wants me to repeat word for word what he's saying, so bear with me. He's saying, dear one, you are so brave. You've forgotten who you are. You've forgotten what you're capable of. And you've forgotten your worth. In rejecting spirit, you've rejected self. In rejecting the twin flame connection, you've rejected self. But you can be whole. It's not the twin that makes you whole. That's a feeling that comes from inside. And he's saying, it's so easy for you to step back into your power. You've had it before. You've had that deep spiritual inner power before. You just lost your way. But it's time to get back on your path. He's saying you know the way. It will happen very quickly for you as soon as you make that choice. Trust. Trust that whatever happens, you can be whole and happy. And your guides are really rooting for you. Your guides, I feel like this Divine Feminine has been getting really powerful signs and synchronicities that she's really ignored. And your guides are really trying to reach you and open your eyes to, what is. Because you've been so hurt by this Divine Masculine and his separation from you that you've really completely rejected this journey. And Arthur's showing me that a lot of you that have chosen this path today, that are watching it, this might be the first twin flame reading you've watched in a long time. And you felt guided to come and watch it today, and you found your way to this pile. If that's you, trust. Union's coming, and your Divine Masculine, God bless him, has done a lot of that work for you. So I really hope that's helpful. Let's move on to pile 3. Oh, lovely messages for that couple. I love it when it's good news. Okay, so pile number 3. Let's take a look. How is your Divine Masculine feeling about you? What he's thinking? What do you need to do to move forward with this connection? I don't read with reversals in this deck. So if they come out reversed, I will turn them upright. I'm getting a lot of sorrow, a lot of shame and guilt. Another Chariot card. Wow. Okay, so the first thing to jump out to me is that we start with the 2 of Wands and we've got the 3. So the Tarot tells a story, you know, each suit tells part of that journey. And in terms of how he's feeling like right now, he's waiting, he's mustering the courage to come forward with communication. And he knows he needs to be honest with you. There's stuff that he hasn't told you and he's really, really nervous about that. And this 2 of Wands in this deck, I don't know if you can see this, I'm going to try and bring it quite close. You know, this gentleman's waiting, but he looks a bit nervous. You know, he's worried. And even though it's daytime, you can still see the moon in the sky, which is, you know, trusting self. We've got the 7 of Swords here. And one of them's just kind of stuck out on its own. And he's looking at it and he knows he needs to confront it. And we've got the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles, or Discs as it is in this deck. And, you know, he knows there's stuff in the past. This guy's looking backwards, he's moving backwards. There's stuff in the past he needs to come clean about, that he's feeling a lot of anxiety about this. He's just not sure yet how to approach it. He's hopeful. He believes that the connection can cope with that revelation. We know this from the sun in the background. But he is nervous. He's anxious about that. You know, with the Knight of Pentacles, we do see him looking forward again, holding this trouble behind him and not looking at it. Instead, he's looking at this letter. He's looking at how he can communicate this, and he's taking his time with this, okay? He's not going to rush this. He's really feeling like he needs to move forward, that he's ready to do that, but he's just trying to figure out how to do this tactfully, is what Arthur's telling me. He's really looking for, you know, the damage limitation, because he knows that he has to be completely honest. But he's so afraid of that. He's afraid of rejection. He's afraid of what you're going to say. And I'm guided to say that in this situation, it's not karmic. It's not what you think it is. It's not about somebody else. A lot of Taurus energy here as well. So in terms of what he's thinking, he's ready to move forward. I've got the Fool here. He's ready to start over with a fresh slate. That's what he wants. He wants a completely fresh beginning. He wants to leave this kind of stuff that he's been dwelling on in the past. He's ready to do that work. He's ready to carry that weight with this 10 of Wands here. And, you know, we've got the Chariot. He's ready to charge forward. He's thinking about ways to come towards you with balance, you know, with the right messages. And he's ready for fulfillment. You know, he's ready for that waiting to be over with that 3 of Wands energy. He wants you to know that he cares a lot, and he really is very sorry that he's been absent. He's not confident in your desire to move forward. That a lot of the anxiety he's feeling is related to this. And he knows that you probably think there has been a karmic partner, and I'm being shown that actually with this guy there hasn't been. He's been single. He's been doing work on himself. He's not awakened. He's been getting his earthly affairs in order as well. But there's something you don't know about him, and that he needs to tell you. And actually, I think when he tells you, you won't see it as a big deal, but to him it is. It is a big deal to him, but you won't see it as such. So don't be worried that this big revelation is gonna, hurt you. It's not. You're going to be like, what, is that it? Really? Is that all? But yeah, he's really feeling anxious about this, and he's very carefully considering how it comes towards you. Now, in terms of what you need to do, a lot of synchronicities in these. Okay. So you need to trust. You need to trust yourself. You need to trust your own intuition, because I feel like this guy has been so in and out of your life that this time when he comes back, whereas previously you might have been excited, like, oh, he's got in touch again. I feel like this time actually you're in a much more balanced place. You're kind of a bit more meh. Been here, done that. It's going to work out the same as before. But you're really being guided with this High Priestess card to trust your intuition, because Arthur's telling me you dared not believe it, that you've actually had a feeling you're going to hear from him soon and that things are going to move forward, but that you're not allowing yourself to believe that because you don't want to be disappointed again. And that's what this World card is about. Accept that the cycle that you've been through with him has come to an end, and you're ready to begin a new one. You mean the world to him. And I know you're frightened to believe that because you don't want to be hurt again, but you really need to release. We've got the 9 of Wands here, which is about not giving up. You're at the last leg of this journey. Don't give up now. When he comes towards you, just remember who you are. You're in this Queen of Pentacles energy. Yeah, you're strong. You've got all the Arthur's just saying, you've done so much of the work, girl. You're ready. You don't need to worry about anything. And I feel like you are a bit more balanced this time. Previously when he's come towards you, you've felt that anxious attachment to him, whereas, oh my God, is he going to text me back? Will I see him again? Is he going to disappear again? And this time you're not going to feel that way. You're going to trust that he's coming to you with integrity this time, and that you can move forward with that knowing that you know this. Arthur's showing me you know this. I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but you needed to hear it from outside of yourself. Sometimes we do. You needed that sign to help you really connect with that intuition that you're already feeling. And Arthur's showing me as well that time of being on your own, of feeling lonely, because you've already stepped into this much more balanced place, you've done that healing work, you can trust that this is going to be a really spiritual, beautiful connection. And your twin doesn't know about spirit. I feel like you've probably never had that conversation with him at all. But this is a soul deep connection, and he's going to step into that as well. Both of you have done a lot of that healing and released a lot of that karma. You've learned a lot of your lessons. But you've been so focused on yourself for so long now that you're frightened to trust that, it can be okay this time. And, when we look in the background, this window, even though this guy's inside, he's feeling cold and lonely, it's beautiful sun outside. Saying step out of that fear now. You've been burying it, because you were hurt in the past. I'm seeing that you were really hurt, but you've resolved that. You've risen above it. You've got yourself into a much happier place. And Arthur's saying when he does reach out, you will feel the change in energy. You will sense that it's different this time, and you can trust that intuition. You can trust that. He's saying that this feeling of energy is part of the work you've been doing. I feel like you may have been doing a lot of energy healing, subscribed to Reiki, doing that kind of stuff, and it's opened your mind and your senses to being able to sense and feel energy, changes in energy, vibes from people. And he's saying you will notice this time when you see your twin, when you hear from him, the energy will feel completely different. And that's how you'll know that you can trust your intuition, that you can move forward safely with this connection. Wow, we've got the Ten of Cups there. So, this time I do see this as a stable and prolonged union. That it's a coming together. It's the happy family card as well, and I'm normally really nervous about saying happy families, but actually in this case I do believe there are or will be children involved. This is it. This is the completion. This is union for you. So this is really positive, Divine Feminine. Start trusting yourself. Oh, I love it when they're nice readings. I love it so much. Let's hope the next one is too. Let's move on to part 4. So how is Divine Masculine feeling? What's he thinking? What does the Divine Feminine need to do to move forward with this? Wow. Okay, this guy's having a hard time right now. Okay, so in terms of how he's feeling about you, he is, he's not in the most balanced place. We've got the Seven of Pentacles here. This is very prickly, frustrating energy. We've got the Tower. We've got the Emperor. And we've got the Three of Swords. And he is, he's feeling very, very, he's very, very hurt. Just get some clarity from Arthur. Okay, this Divine Feminine has moved on a little bit. She's got another relationship. She's been waiting for this guy for so long. And, this is really, really kind of, I'm getting this it's really given him this Tower moment. He's really felt stung, with this Seven of Pentacles energy and this cactus in this card. He's stinging. This has brought in this Tower moment. This has been a massive reality check for him of what he's thrown away. And, it's with this Emperor and this Three of Swords, he's really feeling that he's not quite the man he thought he was. Because honestly, he didn't think he'd be bothered. I feel like he's not thought about you for quite a while, and all of a sudden he's seen that you've moved on. He's seen that you're with someone else. And actually, it may not be that you're with someone else. It could be his perception. He may have seen a photo of you online with a guy. He may have heard on the grapevine that you were seen on a date or something. But this has really burned him. It's stung him. And it's brought him this Tower moment. And he needed that. Because now he's really stepped into his Divine Masculine power. He's in fighting mode now. I'm really feeling that he's ready to to fight. He's ready to fight for this now. But he's hurting. He's really hurt by this new realization that, you've looked elsewhere. In terms of what he's thinking, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you, he's not in a great place. He's thinking that he wants to start over, that he wants to come towards you with something new, but he's also really full of regret and remorse and disappointment. And, he knows that he's not really got any right to feel that way. I feel like it was him that has been the dishonest person in this, and that he's really getting a taste of his own medicine, even though that wasn't what was intended. But he's also aware that you're stronger this time, that you're holding your power. You're not going to tolerate that. This is the Queen of Wands here. She means business. She's fire. She's spirit. And she's got this fox here as well. She's very cunning. Yeah, no, so he's really thinking that he's fucked it up this time. And he's trying to figure out a way to come towards you. And I don't feel he's going to do that really soon, because right now he's angry. He's super angry. He's wallowing in self-pity. He's asking himself all this, what have I done? What have I done? How have I let this girl go? How have I let her be free to move on with someone else? Why have I done this? He's really dwelling on that. I'm really feeling him. Arthur's saying he's flipping furious. He's absolutely furious with himself, but he's also angry at you, and he knows he has no right to be. He knows that he's created this situation, and that he's not going to come towards you until he's kind of made some peace with that. And he's also too stubborn and too proud to try and compete with another guy. But he's feeling this. He's really, really very focused on you right now. This is really dominating his mind. It's really, yeah, I can just see this guy shaking his head and just absolutely kicking himself. So this is what the Divine Feminine needs to do. Okay. I'm just going to get a clarifier. Wow. Okay. So this makes a bit more sense. Right, so I think the Divine Feminine may be seeing someone else after all, because we've got the Three of Cups here. And in terms of what you need to do, you need to trust in union. This is the Ten of Cups. I pulled this as a clarifier because I'm saying, if she is in the Three of Cups, what does she need to do? But, and this is twin union. We've got two butterflies that are mirrored identically here. But this is really going to hurt. It's going to be really hard. I see harsh words. We've got the Nine of Swords here, and really confronting the pain and the fury and anger between the two of you. We've got the Page of Swords, which is, harsh messages. That's wielding that sword harshly. There's going to be a harsh exchange of words. But we're also showing that, you're victorious. You've actually got what you wanted, and I'm being shown that this third party, the sleeping bear, you're coming at this from a place of strength now, and this relationship has given you that strength. This third party relationship you've had has helped you find yourself again. You're going to be nervous, actually, I think, about letting that go. So this is the Eight of Wands in reverse. It won't happen quickly. You can take your time with that. But don't give up. change is coming. Once you work through, I feel like you're going to go through a period now of kind of on-off with your twin flame while you have these kind of, I mean, you know, I hate to break it to you, but as I said with this, the Maiden of Swords, or Page of Swords as she's known in this deck, you know, you've got a higher perspective now. And you're not just going to drop everything with this other guy to appease your twin, because that brings you a lot of stability, comfort, a lot of grounding. It's going to take time for that to move on, and you're going to be stuck in this to and fro in communication with him. But I'm being shown, don't give up on him, because you have got this beautiful 10 of Cups union, but there is stuff, and you've got victory. You know, this is the 6 of Wands, which is the card of victory, of winning, of succeeding, of getting everything you want. But Arthur's saying don't give up, but also don't give in too easily with these rapid incoming changes that are coming towards you. Take your time. Yeah, stay in this Queen of Pentacles energy of abundance, stability, security, strength, feeling confident about yourself, about what you deserve now. You've done a lot of work. Yeah, you're not going to let this guy come towards you and just drop everything for him, because I feel like he's been really dishonest in the past. He's not treated you well. But he's realised his mistakes and he's hurting. He never thought you'd move on. He really thought you'd always be an option. And in seeing you move on now, he's really going through an absolute world of regret, a world of pain. He's in a lot of pain. He's very, very angry, but he's more angry with himself. But, you know, there's going to be some harsh words. There's going to be some changes, yeah. But you need to resist them initially. By all means, communicate with this guy. Trust that union is possible. But you need to wait until such a time as, you know. And this sleeping bear, Arthur's telling me this other guy, you can keep him as an option if you need to. It's not, you know, he's showing me that this isn't, this guy is sleeping. He doesn't know. He doesn't know the depth of your feelings to this other guy. And I feel like by sticking with him temporarily, he's, you know, you're not going to hurt him. He's going to be completely unaware of what's going on in your heart and mind with this. But you need to take your time with it and be sure. And when you're sure, and this guy has calmed down and he's not coming at you and that anger is dissipated, that's when you can step into a much more positive situation. You can step into this 10 of Cups. So pile 4, I mean, there's a storm brewing. You know, there's going to be some really difficult nightmare conversations coming your way. But you need to stand firm in your calm power. You've done too much work. Arthur's laughing and saying, oh, how the tide has turned. You never expected this. You never expected to see this guy again. You know, you'd really kind of just thought, he's an absolute joker. He's put you through too much and you've moved on. And, you know, this happens to a lot of people on the twin flame journey when they finally have enough and they move on and they step into this happy place, and suddenly the energy of that connection changes because the feminine is no longer anxiously attached. She's let go, she's surrendered, even though she may have done it unconsciously because she's moved on. It's just something that happens, and the energy changes, and the divine masculine feels that. So he's felt that change in energy. He's gone snooping online and he's found out you've got someone new, and now he's had his tower moment. And I feel like you've waited a long time for this and you've given up on it ever happening, but he's coming back. It's going to take time to unravel this situation, but it will unravel. And I do see union for you guys. So much more positive lineup today. Really happy with those. So again, please like, share and subscribe. I'm new to YouTube and it's always helpful. If you've got any questions or comments, I'd love to know which pile resonated for you. Please do comment below. And again, do be reminded, I've got a Valentine's special on at the moment. I'm accepting payment in dollars as well. So it's $11.11 for a Valentine's reading. And if you want an extended reading, you can find that information in the box below as well. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you again soon.